Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. It has been a minute since I've been on. It seems like we have been not on for a while, but I've been working, constantly working. But I want to thank you guys for joining us for another great edition of Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. It is Happy Tuesday. Yes, it's Happy Tuesday. And we're back in the flow of things. We're back in the flow. It feels good to say. But for all of you all that's tuning in live, please tell us where you're tuning in from. We want to know where you're tuning in from. We want to engage with you in the chat, in the comments. Drop your questions, drop your perspective about what we're talking about today, because it is going to be something you want to hear. And for those who's going to check us out on the hashtag replay, you do the same. Drop in the comments where you're tuning in from. Let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know your perspective and also your questions as well on today's show. Also, let us know how we're doing. We want to hear that feedback from you, because this is a global show. We know you guys watch us from all over the world, and we want to hear your perspective. Please do. But of course, I can't do this by myself. I do it with my lovely hostess with the mostest. Come on out, Charlene. What's up?
What's going on? Good morning. So, yes, it's been about a week. Yes. And between Carl going to his in person events and me setting up a couple of things on our end, we did want to make sure that folks understood and knew about our new summit that we're putting together. And we cannot wait. That's happening in September. So, what you want to do, what we would love to have you to do, is head on over to nextlevelbusinessmoves.com so you can register for our summit in September on the 24th.
Yes, yes, yes. Make sure you register for that. Go check it out. We have the flyer information. Actually, I'll be doing a post about it later on today across all channels: LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and Instagram. I don't ever want to leave the little insties out. The little entities out. So we're going to definitely put it on there, because it is going to be phenomenal. We're just going to be talking about an extension, a more in-depth extension of what we're going to be talking about today. And we got an all-star cast that really is going to put it in for you and let you know what you can do to build your business recession proof. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted, because the gas going down a little bit. You know what I mean? And and everybody hollering about this 500,000 jobs that we out the recession. Last I checked, I think I was down in the southern land. I was out of South Carolina. I did see some gas stations was $3.99. I almost crashed a rental car trying to get into the gas station, because I haven't seen three in front of our gas in about over a year. In up here in the Northeast. So
So, what, you almost passed out?
yeah, I almost passed out. I almost passed out. I think it was one of the first times I was happy to pay for gas. I was happy to pay for gas. So and it was a lot of gas. So I can't imagine. I had a hybrid Denali, little hybrid, and it was supposed to be the guy was like, yeah, it's good on gas. And I was like, yo, man, it's good on gas. I need that size, so that'll work for me. So I got to the gas station, and I was fretful at first. Well, I put it out, it was like $80 to fill up. Okay, that's pretty good, because I know if I'd have did that up here in the Northeast, probably be about 170 to fill that truck up. But anyway, I digress. But I had a beautiful, beautiful week. Great conference, great things going on. I'll be sharing a lot of that, as it has been over the past couple of days. From there, some of the things we talked about, some of the topics we talked about. It was really good to be out in front of people again. I love the live stream, don't get me wrong, but I am a human connection guy. So me getting out and talking to people in the essence of shaking hands and kissing babies, that's what I love to do.
So he's in his element, y'all.
I love it.
And and with today, we really wanted to not just talk about recession, but most people don't even tell you what it looks like to be recession proof. So that's what we wanted to get into, because that's really what our summit's about. Our summit is about helping you become recession proof, so you're not sitting there scrambling or struggling when you don't need to. If you can set yourself up ahead of time, why not? And then you just have to maintain rather than build during a recession, right? So that's our goal, and for the summit. And our goal today is to talk a little bit about what we see that looking like and what we've noticed in the past between for ourselves and for others, what's been really helping. And of course, the first thing that we've always noticed is the messaging. You have to be recession proof, your message has to be clear and consistent. That's part of what consistency is about. That's part of why everybody's always telling you to be consistent. Is to have your messaging consistent, have your messaging clear enough that people can connect immediately. They're not sitting there trying to now figure out, are you the same like others? What makes you different? If you can't answer that question, then you're not there yet. And that's what something that you really need to work on. So we're all about taking action. And part of that is be vulnerable in your message and make that your constant. And of course, Mr. Vulnerability, please jump into this and give us some insight on how has that resonated for you and what does that look like?
Well, definitely in the business, my business, especially being in consulting and coaching, right? Everything is messaging because your message has to stand out from those that are around. I think I did a post a few days ago and I was talking about this 800 million, 800 so million people on LinkedIn, just this platform alone. And 200 or so million of those, I think I was trying to do the research on that, are consultants, right? Or coaches, right? So when you're looking upon that level, you have to stand out, Captain Obvious, with your message because you're already in a ocean full of sharks, right? So in the essence of that, your message has to go to the niche of vulnerability. And when I say that, I don't mean it to sound like you're cashing in on the circumstances, but in due the rest of the circumstances, that's exactly what you're doing. Your messages have to be a little more concise and clear to the avenues which you're presenting your services. So when you're looking at that, you want to find that you want to focus on those individuals that you can make differences in. A lot of times as coaches and consultants, yes, we have a niche. We say we're expert in this particular thing, but we also what I would call grabbers. We also look for people that say, oh, I want to try that program, or I want to come in and see what you're doing. They may not necessarily be the commitment that you would ideally look for as a client, but when you're looking about the revenue that you're bringing in, you're constantly looking to bring in clients. When you're doing it on the recession proof stand, get those ones that are definitely in a necessity of what you're offering. Make sure you're honing your message down directly to those where they can hear it. Put that messaging out. And in the essence of being vulnerable with it, hit to those pain points that they specifically want to hear about, the pain points that they specifically want to know about. Those things are avenues that they are concerned with. Keep the focus on those things that you're bringing to them, the solutions that you're truly offering. Now, that may sound redundant because that's what you're supposed to be doing anyway, right? But when people have less finances to spend, they're looking for optimal solutions for that finance. So if you're providing those through messaging, you're already halfway there with actually getting those clients and maintaining and actually retaining those ones that you currently have. So the messages is definitely key.
I mean,
Yes, I would.
and I
Yeah, I
think
would love to hear you.
and I think that's a way to say to you, don't wait till now things are going in a way where you may not be able to keep a marketing or the shine on what you're doing, because a lot of times we're paying for services, we're paying for people to help us, and they're the ones cultivating our I would say our shine. So they're the ones creating our messages. They're the ones creating our images. They're the ones doing all of the things for us that we don't even know where to start. Or we've lost connection with the foundation of our business. We've lost connection with how our business is thriving and running and what makes it do the things that it does. And if you can get your messaging understood, it becomes easier for you to do something simple for yourself because you don't need a big hoopla of things to keep going. A lot of times we forget the starting points that we came from. And it's all because we're thriving. But when you're not in a thriving economy anymore, now how can you help others still see the value and the worth in you and know that, yes, you're the one to go with? If your messaging is not consistent, if they don't know what's happening. And there's a difference between tweaking your message and you constantly changing. You're doing something new every other month or every other quarter. Now you're being known to do something else. And you're never seen as being a consistent provider of something within a year because you've changed 4 times. Right? So you want to make sure that no matter what you're doing, no matter what services you provide, your base and your message is always the same. Carl and myself, we're prime examples. Our bases are always the same. I make sure that you have a website that is a digital marketing powerhouse for your business. So you're going from a DIY to that. That's my ultimate goal always. Carl's ultimate goal is that you learn to be vulnerable so you can empower yourself and make those moves that you need to make. So every time, if you're not consistent about what is it that you do and how can you bring it to people no matter what environment they're in, that's when you start to lose you lose yourself, and then now you're running race because, oh shoot, we're in a recession. Now I need to give $2 consulting sessions. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't, right? So that's part of the conversation. And I see Phyllis, and I see a question from Giannis. We're gonna jump on that question. And then Phyllis says, or the people that ask, what do you need help with? And then turn it into an offer when you answer. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that part, right? Um, I think, and I put it I put a little piece of what I was thinking in the comments there. In the tough times, what I've noticed and what I see noticing, and like you say, a lot of times people get to the financial point of that because the recession is we automatically equate that with the financial piece of that, right?
Mhm.
Because that's really where it comes from. The money is receding, the avenues for which we can spend are receding. So there are things that we have to move to those areas and put out those fires or even prevent those fires from being there. Self-awareness is the greatest key. What are some of the things and those things that you can ramp back purchasing, maybe equipment, those kind of things that off the front end you can say, okay, I can kind of go back to this on that at another time, or when I get more clients, or when the money is right, or it moves forward. But what we're talking about in the recession-proof things are things that are within your wheelhouse that does not cost you anything more. You can ramp up on the website. You can do more marketing of the things you offer on the website, more solution-based activities you should be promoting on your website, more ways that people could come off of social media to be directed to your website. Being empowered by the knowledge and the language that you use in the vulnerability piece of that, hitting at those strings of where people want to see things done with them and how they can get that stuff done without spending a lot of money. Not that you have to recess in what you're offering, as far as I'm going to get cuts. And I know, and I think I had a running, it's still running. I got a couple of weeks left now. I did a Christmas in July, and I didn't do that because of the recession. I did that to play off of Christmas in July is what, and I actually got the idea from my wife. I had to give her a shout out. She was watching Hallmark, and they start having Christmas in July movies, and they start advertising that in June. And I was like, oh, maybe I should start hitting that up. And I started doing posters and flyers for that in the late part of June to ramp up for that. I thought it was a great marketing pool because Christmas is July. Everybody like to play on that. So when you have those kind of ideas, put those in the focus of advertise those, market more. That's where people draw back from. First thing you want to do, oh man, I ain't got money marketing. That's a killer to your business and recession proof. I think you can move around money, your finances from any other way. You keep that marketing, that promotion, that advertising. That is your lifeline to people coming in to the services that you're offering. So when you're cutting that, not only are you cutting the opportunities for people to pour into your business and services, you're cutting the avenues and the opportunities for them to even see your business or services. So you have to really think that through when you're saying that, okay, those, and they are the quickest things to get cut. Believe me, I've talked to a whole lot of CEOs or whatever. They ramp that down. Okay, for this market, for this quarter, we're going to take, we don't have to budget that much to be doing ads. We don't have to budget that much to be doing it. But if you move things around systematically, you can see that some of the stuff that you've been carrying weights on the back end, you can kind of front that to this area and say, okay, let's advertise. Let's get it out what we're doing. Let people do. Let people do. And in that essence, then you'll see how those will reap benefits for you in the long haul.
Yes, and I would add
I like that,
to
Giannis. I
that
like that.
about I would add to that in saying, how do you develop self protection habits, right? Part of it is you knowing what is it that's going to help you not be stressed out, not be worn out, and does not require you to give all of your energy to sustain your business. A lot of times we miss an opportunity to offload services that maybe we can put on pause. And I'm not telling you to throw out a lot of services that may be winning, but if they are taking up more time and energy from you, maybe you want to scale back on those. Like how Phyllis said, don't reduce your prices, increase the value that you give. So if you can scale back on certain products or services that you provide,
Mhm.
then scale up on the price, reduce how many people you need to pull into that service or get to have that product. That way you're not putting more time and energy in. You're able to pace back a bit, and then you're not in a recession burnout as well, because that's what a lot of people tend to go into, because now they're struggling and they're trying to create so much new stuff. Oh, if I did a whole bunch of 10-minute $5 consultations or 10-minute coaching sessions, then you guys will I'll get more people so I can coach 40 people in a Facebook group. That's a lot of drama to be going through for less financial benefits and gain, because at the end of the day, with the recession, how are you going to use that small amount of money to bring in your bigger gain, your bigger goal, which is to sustain your business, keep it open? How can you posting people on Facebook for $5 for them to come in, if that, right? And that's
Yeah.
on Facebook 24 16-hour questions. And I'm not taking away from stuff that are able to do that, but not during a time where you should focus where you can do the most good.
Yeah, those are dirty. Lost my connection. Oh, what's up with this connection? Yo, we was going good for a minute, Restraint. I thought I was gonna have to give you a praise, but
Okay.
yes, but when you're talking about that, when you're talking about those offers, those are the key avenues for which we can do it. And
I don't know what's happening on Carl's side.
I was gonna say I agree, but I guess I don't agree because they want to cut me out. But I agree with what Shannon was saying in the essence of claiming recession, and this is just a talk lesson for your spiritual belief in the essence of that. But when you look at the overall picture of that, we still have to put into play of those things. And I love that you can't lose sight of how you help others. And I think in your focus on that, and instead of the money opportunities, but you also have to put in, let's be smart about it as well. You also have to put in the strategies that keep you out of that keeps you focused on that. Because don't get it twisted, when money not flowing in and things not going to, they are what we consider in the spiritual world cares of life. And they do happen. They do cause drag. They do cause disappointments. They do cause depression. Those are
Yeah.
real things. So definitely, I don't think I can fool with anybody on the faith tip because my faith is up there. But I get to the back sometimes and I'm like, whoa, this is heavy. You know what I mean? So we do have to put in those kind of strategies and things that we are able to do, because yes, a lot of things aren't in our control. Me going to pay I think it went down now. I'm at 440 in Jersey. Me be doing 440 for gas. I can't control that. If I got to ride, I got to pay it. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things that you settle in your mind and say, but the things that we have an opportunity to highlight is the things that we're offering. We can talk about price and the value, and we can check out the worth of it. So you understand? Wait, bring that back up again, Alex. That was a pretty good question. So since we talk about
Yeah.
price and value, is important if you aren't aware of your worth. It's definitely important. First and foremost, Giannis, that's is that how they rewind if it was a tape. Yo, you got to know your worth from jump.
Yes.
Knowing your worth has nothing to do with recession. Knowing your worth should be what you know from the door. When you decide to have this business venture, whether you're a leader, and I'll even take it from out of business, it's a business venture, a leader, someone's following you. I mean, you're looking for a job, you're a job seeker, any category that you put yourself in, man, you got to know your worth from the door. Because I can't even say that I'm going to stand before you and offer you a business if I don't even know what I'm worth. How am I going
Facts.
to even get you to buy into the things that I'm doing? So knowing your worth is the key importance of what you're going to offer. But then once you know that worth, you can systematically put out things that people can use, people need, people that can avail solutions wise for people. And in that, if some of those high dollar, high value, I've started looking at some of my high dollar, high value, not to change the prices in them, but what can I take out of them and create another diversifying an income stream? How can I take my VTP program, which is a set for a week at this amount? What can I take out of that? Can be training, can be tools, can maybe be coursework that I can also offer at additional value to give out to people. What can I make PDFs? What can I make cheat sheets to place on Instagrams? Or I mean, your mind has to go. I know I'm the think tank dude, but your mind has to go. Yo, everybody not signing up for that big offer right now like they was a few months ago, right? Okay,
Mhm.
but I still got to be in business. I still got. So what I do, I retool my messaging. I put different pictures up of me doing different things. I highlight some other talents I have. See that part.
I
Once
need
you
y'all
know
to
you
read
know
this
your worth,
part right here.
uh,
One way, and for those who are just listening, one way you know you don't know your worth is asking others what they charge.
I can
And
shout out for that one, fellas. I can say, oh, that took me to the church. Cash
I,
out,
I feel a church dance
Phyllis
coming on
Williams.
from
I
you.
feel I feel the spirit move right there.
What is it, praise dance? I
Yeah,
feel
I'm about to do
praise
the
dance
praise
coming
dance on
from
that
you.
one.
And Giannis, that's part of it, right? Well, a
Yeah.
lot of times we are so entrenched with saying value, value, value.
Hmm.
Now we start to look at other people, and I definitely say this from a web developer, a web designer, and a graphic artist point of view. When you have people comparing you to those who either just started, only work with a Canva aspect and mindset, or that's no shade off of Canva, but for those who develop and design through other tools, especially from the Adobe family, because a lot of us, that's how we came through. And it's not that it's better, but you can see the different aspects that come into creating so many of these pieces. So when you have people who don't take into account all that you had to go through to learn and make it look easy, that's when you know those are not the people for you. When they start saying, "Oh, you know what? How much would that be?" Don't compare them. Don't compare people who've been doing all the tricks and the trades through these things, and are creating from scratch, or are able to take something and turn it into something totally different. Do not compare them to people who literally just learned or are just taking a template and changing your colors. Those are totally different things. And it's on the brink of disrespectful. It's like going to a doctor's office and saying, "Oh, well, how much was your degree? How much do you charge? What's this? What's that?" Most people don't even do that. We have if those who have insurance, they have their insurance, they go straight to the doctor.
Hmm. That's it.
Referral or not, they go straight to the doctor. They find one close to them, and that's how most people look. Let's just be honest. Most people are not saying, "Well, how many patients died since you've been in practice?"
Don't want to bring that up, and I'm at the doctor's office, right?
Right? So
Mhm.
like there's certain questions that people ask certain industries they would never ask other industries, which they should. but they would
Yeah.
never ask those questions. So you really want to understand when it comes to value, what is it that they're bringing to you? Maybe it's their knowledge. Maybe it's the way leave you feeling, because a lot of doctors have no bedside manner. And there's some that they make their patient feel like family. That's why no matter what, they patients go there. Even if they
Yeah.
have to come beyond out of pocket, they going over there.
Yeah.
So
And it's
it's really, it's
comfortability.
beyond charge. It's beyond the pricing. So when you want to be recession proof, you need to start now. Don't do it this in a recession. Start now. Start building connections with people and start allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to know that you don't know everything. You may be also testing the waters on something that you're bringing to people, and also be aware of what is your ultimate message. What's the purpose of you being here in someone's life?
Yeah, and it's definitely that. When you talk about that doctor thing, I've had the same doctor 23 years, and it's just like his bedside manner. And I drive a little ways to get to his office because he's not right around the corner. But it's been worth the drive because when I deal with him and he makes me feel comfortable that he's my doctor and he's in the practice. It's his practice, but he got three other doctors that you can see if he's at the hospital or something because he has hospital days. I reschedule. It's like he ain't there, I ain't going. Now it's not that I don't believe in the doctors that are there. They all went to school, they all qualified, they doing their thing. But I know my doctor and what he's going to bring to the table when I come in. We built this rapport and this relationship where I'm comfortable sharing things with him that I may not be with other doctors. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Those are the kind of things that you have to think of in your business as well. And Phyllis put it out there. You know their price, but you don't know their expenses. True that. I think I wrote a post about that a little bit over a year ago because I don't like to use the term heated. That just doesn't fit me well. But I got into a passionate conversation with an individual about what I charge, right? And they was like, "Well, you just came on the scene with, that, with this," and I just not come on the scene. I don't think that's the terminology she used, but she used in essence. That's what. Long
You
story
just
short,
showed up.
yeah, she was like, "You just showed
You
up. You
just
talking
got
about
here.
vulnerability," and she was putting me, yeah, she was putting me in the mind. She was like, "Well, Brene Brown got books, and she's got her this, and she got that." And I said, "Yes, she does." And I'm not here to advocate against her or for her. She's done her work for what she does, and she's an expert in what she does, researching people, asking questions. I'm just going to put it out there to you, frankly, and having a ghostwriter to help her write these books. But that saying it, I'm not casting aspersions on that. What I'm saying is that I got live experience and gonna tell you how to get through the grind. I ain't asked nobody nothing about my vulnerability. I found it out through circumstances, hard times, trials and troubles, tribulations, the whole nine. I found out what worked, what didn't work, and I pinned it. I wrote it down. So now I've established what works and don't work. Now, do all things work for all people? No. But I told them in the essence of that, I'm giving you this 30 minutes because we was talking about a 30-minute session that they want to have with me. I say, yes, this 30 minutes costs this, but you know what I'm giving you in 30 minutes? I'm giving you 30 years of expertise in this 30 minutes. So this is what the price I'm charging you for this 30 minutes or 30 years of expertise. Now, where you go, I don't see you going in Macy's and tell them, oh, y'all been open 100 years. Why y'all charging this amount? Yeah, they charge you name, prestige, and how long they've been open. So when you go there,
Mhm.
if you ain't going on dollar days or family days, whenever they do their discounts, you're gonna pay what Macy's say it is on the tag. And it's no disputing that. I ain't never seen nobody get put out of Macy's for saying I ain't buying that. Y'all need to have a lower price. I ain't seen that
Macy
happen.
says the door not locked from the inside. That's what Macy said.
Macy said, Macy even said a little deeper. I got security by the door. Maybe you need an escort out this piece.
They can
But
hold the door open. They not
that's
afraid of
it.
that.
Let you come
But
out.
yeah, Phyllis is right. You weren't new to the scene. You were new to her.
That's
And
it.
that's where the
Absolutely.
visibility comes in. And we'll talk a little bit about using your website to help you recession proof
Mhm.
your business. But also, Giannis made a great question. Does privilege appear in terms of how does privilege appear in terms of worth? And how does it appear in terms of recession? Does it help in proofing?
Man, Giannis, boy, I tell you, boy, we got to come over to Greece, Giannis. We got to have Greece real talk. We definitely got to come over there. I'm going to dive on this first one. Absolutely. Privilege appears in terms of work, privilege appears in terms of every single thing that we do. and what you look like sells. I mean, we've been going through that for years on years with women and how they look and how they're presented. I'm seeing these race card commercials. I'm seeing these, everything is exploitation of women and their bodies, how their bodies should be. Everything is that. So if I'm coming in, I'm a receptionist, I'm beautiful, I'm blonde, and I'm just gonna put it out there. You guys put in the comments what you think as well. Yeah, I'll put it in. I go to a place, a business, whatever. They got a blonde receptionist, blue eyes, pretty, whatever, whatever your ideal, what you think your ideal is, or what society has said. I can guarantee you. I even look at it on the post, and this is no declaration against women or what they do. It's a benefit that you have to use to some extent to what you have to get at. So I don't want this to take that kind of connotation. But I've seen posts where I've read the material in postings on LinkedIn. And I said, oh, this ain't really saying much content wise, right? Because I'm a content grader. I grade what I'm reading. But I see a post and I see a picture, a post to that. Well, she may be scantily clad. She may be, and I'm not saying anything about this, y'all. Stay with me. She may be scantily clad, or she may be beautiful, or she may have to push up brassiere. And I'm seeing 20 to 30,000 views on that post. And they're not viewing that post based upon that content. I can tell you that because I read the content. I didn't just hit the like or the love. I read the content. I wanted to see what there was in connotation to, because I read it before I'll go all the way down. I don't just go to pictures. And I saw the picture and I'm like, and then I go, and this is my investigative tip because y'all know I love to investigate. I hit the comments section so I can see what's written. I go through, I mean, not the comments,
Yep.
the reaction session, so I can
React.
see the people. 90% of the people in the reactions are men.
Hmm.
Now you do the math. You put it together. Them men ain't read that. They ain't read them comments either. Because I go and look at some of their comments. Fabulous outfit. Awesome picture. Nothing to do with what she wrote. So when you say that, yes, that privilege does that, and her and showing that, it can be on the male as well. Showing that appearance, being that gives privilege. Also, the color of skin denotes privilege. We all know that. I mean, just deal with it frankly. I've been doing this. I say that I had the first person tell me when I went on, talked about Brene Brown and vulnerability and just highlighted my points and her points. People, they was in my DM. Who are you? You don't get what identity you have. She's an established author. She's established. What book you written? I mean, they went in on me. But see, I got thick skin. I go up in the hood. I ain't bother me one bit. But yes, they do. It's a long story short. How they appear in the terms of recession, you can see those that don't have, those that are struggling with. I don't see nobody in Congress talking about they can't go buy nothing. See, you
But
hit that.
yet they making the laws for us.
You hit that.
That's what we
Yes.
got to to look at. They making
Yeah.
our laws about
Yes.
how what we should do, but they're not putting anything in place to help proof for us with
Hmm.
us. And I'm
That's
not
it.
saying they need to now tell you not to buy stuff, but dang, you should have been put something in place where nope, gas not going past this. I don't care what y'all say.
That's it.
As the companies, the gas companies, oil companies, nope, sorry, you can't go past this. It's a recession. You have a good day.
Hmm.
Right?
That's it.
Okay.
Beat it for the most part.
Yes, and with that, it doesn't. A lot of these things are not helping us in recession. Actually, they help drive a lot of it. When you're
Yes.
not supporting those because you don't think that they have what it takes based on that privileged mindset, and a lot of times it's not race, it's class.
Hmm.
You have people come from other countries and they're traveling, and then they're entering different dynamics, and now they're taking those privileged thoughts that they have from another place, and they're trying to impose that on situations in areas that they literally just showed up to as a country. I'm not saying as you being a business person, I'm saying you addressing people in a certain place and time. We also forget that privilege really does not only stop at a racial
Right.
concept. It also transcends into how are you coming from a mindset and what did you experience?
Hmm.
Because you may have had the privilege not to deal with going to bed at night with gunshots ringing in the background. That's a privilege.
Absolutely.
We may think it's supposed to be a God-given right. No. Not in our world. In our world, it's a privilege not to have to wake up, not to have to walk through a neighborhood, fight in between different gangs. And are they trying to recruit you or not? These are lives that people live, and it's not just the black and browns who go through this life.
Yeah.
And you have a privilege that maybe your parents did not want an RV life. Some people don't have an option. Other people are like, oh, this is so cool to do. Other people don't have an option. They're living that life because that's what they can afford at that time. So it's a privilege really transcends beyond a couple of things that we're used to hearing and listening to. And I wanted to bring something that Michael posted. Picasso, and I remember this story. I don't know if all of us heard it, but I'm sure a lot of us have heard this, that Picasso drew on a napkin for 5 minutes and gave it to a chick. She got tight and said, why your drawings cost so much? This
Yeah.
only took you 5 minutes. And he said, no, no, boo. Y'all paying for the 50 years I had to learn, not the 5 minutes. And that's what we really need to take into consideration when we are recession proofing our businesses and ourselves and our mindsets. And I had to learn this before the recession became a thing again, because it's not our first
Yeah,
and it
2008. We
won't
was
be our
just here.
last. Exactly.
We was just here a few years ago.
Right. And I wasn't in business in 2008. So my
Mhm.
mindset had to change and I'm still learning. But this was
Mhm.
part of it. You have to stop looking at yourself and your services or allowing other people to put you in a category of, oh, I'm sorry, building a website, I can do that in 2 hours. Then good luck and have a great time. But
Mhm.
I'm not bringing my skills of over 20 years of what it takes to help you transcend. You're not just building something that's a website, you're transcending that website into becoming that marketing platform for you, where you don't have to fight with other people's voices. You don't have to fight with other people's promotions. You do what you want, when you want, how you want, on your own platform. That's what I'm bringing to the table. And how can you do it? I'll have all my strategies. I can help you. Let's get it started. That's what I bring to the table. So you have to really start to look at what is it that you're doing.
Yeah, you have to, and it has to be an evaluation of, right. Everything should be evaluation of, and the thing that bears to mind is that we forget the foundation. That's really what it boils down to, right? When money is being made and things are, you get lofty with things. And my son, he's studying accounting. He want to be a CPA, right? I
Hmm.
don't think that I've ran across anybody, and I think I'm pretty good with money. I don't think that I've ran across anyone that can minutely give you a definition of what he spent. Like he just amazes me, right? This dude just tracks down most people like just say you may I know, and I used to do it a lot, especially going traveling back and forth to work, right? I lose count of what I done bought, like, the coffees, the lunches, so you get at the end of the week, like, oh, snap, and you look at your account, and it's like, oh, snap, I began the week with, like, where did all that money go, right? This dude knows where, if he spent $2 at this place, or still at that, he has that recollection mind of saying, okay, all right, that's $2 less I'm not spending here. That kind of math, we'll just do mind like that, right? Most of us are not like that. So when we're getting gains from things that we're doing as businesses, a lot of times is what can we do more of, without the necessary strategies to say, how can I offer more without costing me more? Because your knowledge base is what is the income driven. So if you're knowledgeable in quite a few things and your expertise is broad in some things, start using those as avenues to bring in. That's why I'm so much on this diversify, right? Start using some of those avenues that you can do to do that. It doesn't take nothing but a tweak of you writing a message, and someone could get the
Hmm.
aha that this is something that else that you offer. It doesn't take nothing but maybe the production of the product or service on your website, where before you said nothing about that. But now
Yeah.
you got an avenue that you're reaching a new clientele. So now I've offered in there, even in the essence of when we first came out, and what Charlene did, she was going with the architectural part of the website and the coding. Now she's with the brand misfit, the strategies, and all those other kind of things. That's a well-rounded spirit that she has to throw stuff out at. So she doesn't have to say, okay, my client says, yeah, I'm a coach and consultant. So what? I can't help nobody if they don't need coaching and consultant. Ah, no, how farther from the truth can you be? I just came from a
Hmm.
speaking conference that nobody wanted coaching at that time, but I've gotten a few since they heard me. But nobody wanted that. That wasn't what that was designed for. That was there for me designed to talk about these specific things that I know. And in
Yeah.
that drew people out and said, yo, you work with companies, you do online, you do Zooms. I got to answer them pepper with a lot of those questions. So when you have this expertise that you've honed down into a business for yourself, look at other avenues for which you can bring in revenue to yourself. Website is a great part of it. Your messaging is another great part of it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's the knowledge you already have. The website, if you're paying for it, it's the website you already have. Make it work for
Hmm.
you. And that's how you make your business recession proof. What are the things and the strategies and the techniques that you're putting in place to say, okay, yeah, 2008, now we're in 2021. I'm doing the math. We're looking at another one, what, in another 12, 13 years. So I was like, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 10, 12 years. This is how I'm going to be setting myself apart from all coaches and consultants in this next time frame. These are some of the
Right.
avenues that I'm going to have in place. Maybe I don't do a full throttle in them all that time, but slowly but surely I'm going to be implementing these things where people can see, yeah, that I'm more than this, that I got more than this, that I know more than this, that I offer more than that. Those are the kind of things that being vulnerable to yourself, self-evaluation and being self-aware to yourself can enable you to be recession proof through the hard times.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought in the website component,
Mhm.
because once you get that message clear and
Yeah.
you're putting it out and you're pushing it out, it needs to be somewhere. And that's your website. It should be streaming from your website. Every part of your site should be sharing this message, supporting the message. Your testimonials, examples of what you do, you sharing your thoughts and your all your insights, and you doing all of this amazing things to showcase how you know these things, why you're the one. That's what really gets people to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going over there. You the one here, because you are consistent. Everything you do is consistent. And part of this recession proof action is y'all need to start working on creating better SEO through your website. All the stuff that you're doing on these social medias are temporary. We already have the stories that are 24 hours going away. You have all these things that you want to make sure that when you're putting something out there, it can be forever searched. People are ever going to look for it. It's pulling up in all of these results because people are using the search engines to find results, to find solutions. Why aren't you part of that?
Yes.
You not blogging is hurting your business more than you saying and talking about you don't know how to blog. You can find somebody to help you put the words together, to help you formulate or format the words. Don't get caught up in that part.
Mhm.
That's what I help with that. Don't get caught up in how should it look. We're going to just write it.
Just write it
Just
already.
say it. You do audio, you do video, you write it, whatever it is. That's why they have all these transcription services. There's no reason a business, especially a small business owner, a consultant, a coach, damn, a speaker, there's no reason y'all don't have content on your website. And people are like, content is king, video's better. Let me just help clarify something for y'all. Video is content.
Oh,
It's just a type of content. And I
yeah.
think that's another battle that folks are having. These are unnecessary battles. Just
Mhm.
create content.
That's it.
Just
And there's so
create
many avenues to it.
content and allow others to help you so you can be recession proof. Go ahead, sir. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no. I was just because I was jumping on that. I was jumping on that high seat with you. Uh, that I think the first person I helped, they told me, well, the first client that I pulled off of LinkedIn, they told me I can't because I've created a couple of posting systems that I incorporate with my trainings for people to get visibility. And my first client that I pulled from LinkedIn, they told me it took them an hour to write a post, and I said, why? And I say why, and I'll say it and cleared it up because I didn't want this to go left. I said this is not sarcastically asking a question. This is a researcher trying to dig into the element of why. And I said, I want you to tell me why and walk me through why it takes you an hour to do a post. And her answer was, I just got to make sure I get this out correctly and grammar. I said, you know how many posts I done put out? And then I go back and read it. I was like, oh, snap. I smelled like three, four of them words wrong. That's what's edit for, right? That's what edit for. I used to stress on that because I'm kind of like one of them guys that I'm just like I want stuff to be perfect, right? And when I say that, it's funny how we don't ever take our own medicine, right? Because I know I tell people all the time it's about opening up, it's about being vulnerable, it's about being able to work on those things that you don't have control of. And here I am putting out posts like, oh snap, that got to be right. But I fell off that bag a long time ago, and I start eating my own food and taking my own medicine. If I'm going to be putting it out there, and I'm going to get people to ingratiate with me the genuality or the authenticity that I talk about and display, I've got to be able to have someone say, "Oh, yo," and I don't do it on purpose. But if it happens, I don't. It's not my downfall. She spent all that time writing a post. It's sort of like an author don't have a prompt, and he's gonna keep on tearing up a sheet of paper after he done wrote two words. At some point in time, just put a thought out there. You may be surprised. Not maybe. You will be surprised. Who reads your stuff? Who sees it? Who it resonates with? Who finds it funny? Who finds it entertaining? Who finds it useful? All of us have so many different ways of how we look at stuff and see stuff, take stuff in, comprehend, understand. So when I put it out there, I was like, oh man, I went back and read my post a few hours. I was like, oh snap, I felt error. 4, 5 grammatical errors. If I had an English teacher, I'd have got an F on that paper. But you know what? I wasn't in school turning in a paper. I was trying to let people know some of the things that I do. And I did that on, and Charlene's my witness as well as that. A lot of stuff I had on my website was not to the strong connection of what I was intent to have as content.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, bruh, you talk about all of this over here. Why you ain't got nothing on your website? And sometimes I don't think it's a purpose thing. I think sometimes we just get in the mix of caught up in things and hear things and don't. But you got to bring that focus to yourself and say, what am I here for? What is my why? Why am I doing this? Who do I want to serve? Why do I want to be doing this? Does this bring me joy in doing it? Ask yourself them few little questions, and you'll get a focal point of like, okay, this is what I can write. I can write this. I can put this in there. It doesn't have to be beautiful. I can use slang. I can use whatever. Phyllis in here. What Phyllis name used to be the ghetto. What was that? The grandma.
Oh,
Ghetto.
the ghetto
Sorry,
country
Phyllis. Put it
grandma.
in the chat, Phyllis. Put it in the chat so I don't mess it up. The ghetto brand master, brand mama, or grandmama, or something like that. I know.
See,
Please,
you over here mixing up all the
yeah,
things. She
I'm
has the
mixing up.
brand babies,
Yeah, the
ghetto
grand
country
babies.
grandmother. Like you
Yes, I
mixing up
know it was
everybody.
brand something. I knew it was the ghetto something. She used to tell you everybody. I remember the first time I met her. She said everybody don't like it. Don't everybody ain't gonna like how I talk.
And
So
you can see
there it
if
is, ghetto
if
country
all of y'all,
grandmama. There we
yes, if
go.
all of y'all are wondering how to really dig in and brand yourself, Phyllis is the reason why I was able to not change my name but name what I did. The
Mhm.
Brand Misfit. That was how Phyllis was able to help me. Me being in a course with her, and I was like, yeah, I do branding, but when it comes to me, I'm always all over the place. I don't even know where to go. I don't know what's happening. And Phyllis is the one who put the finger on it, right? So when you find people like Phyllis who can help you name what it is, that allows you to hone in on your message. And then that allows you to now start streamlining everything on from your website to your social media. It should never be backwards. Do people work that way backwards? Of course they do. I'm not saying you can't, but you should be making sure that your website is the main powerhouse for your message. It's super important that you're doing the branding in a way that allows you to
Yeah.
properly be seen and be heard, because if you can't be seen and heard, then you're not going to have your message get out there. Your message is not going to resonate. And then now you're going to have people coming up to you like they did with Carl, talking about, well, who are you? Okay, I ain't
Mhm.
never heard of you. So part
Yeah.
of part of that is you want to be definitely interested in putting yourself in conversations through SEO, and that's search engine optimization. You want to make sure that you are allowing your website to help share your message, be the thing that people can see come up in those results. You want your website part of that conversation. You want your website to allow you to get your message out on a constant basis. And when I say constant, that doesn't mean you creating every 2 seconds. That means that because you're using those SEO keywords and key phrases, because a lot of people miss out on that. It's not just a word sometimes, it's a phrase. And you can create your own, and you can jump into others. And when you're using these keywords and these phrases, think of it as you go into a party and there are conversations already happening.
Mhm.
Now you need to see, do I want to get into this conversation? Do I want to get into that? Do I have any value in that conversation? That's how you start to learn from others. And then you start to become part of the voice that can help those conversations get better, get stronger. And then you can probably be by the pool, sitting on your chair, and then you start a conversation on your own. That's your branded keywords. That's what
That's
you do. So
that's
those are the conversations that your website allows you to get in. Your website is that key card that everybody wish they had a key card to get into the suite. Your website is your key card to the suite. And so many people ignore that, and they over there running trying to get in everybody else's suite, standing by the door. And what does standing by the door look like? You on social media now trying to stand by the door, talking all the time. And then when people come to you, it's like, oh, well, where your room at? Oh, I don't got one. I'm just here.
yeah, and and it's an eye opener. And I'm just saying it from a live. I'm saying it from a live experience because I did it. I didn't have anything on, but you know about even with the I can attest to Charlene being the brander. Even her, she branded my name, Mr. Vulnerability. She put that out there. And I now I have people DMing me that and saying that. So I had to ask him that, So I'm saying, this is who I am. But it also precedes me. When people see that from the door, they already know what I'm talking about. They already know what I'm bringing to the table. They already know what my messaging is. Those are the kind of things that makes branding so important to you and for you when you're doing that. Not only that, when you're branded, it's like I'm not gonna go to Chevy looking for a Porsche, and I'm not gonna go to GMC looking for a Ford. Like branding, that is just that simple. It's just plain,
Mhm.
right? And if I want my Mercedes fixed, I'm not gonna go to Chrysler to get it fixed. I
Yeah.
mean, the branding that lets you know the importance of branding. They stand out in their things of what they are doing. That's how you gotta be. And when she said the brand misfit, I was like, yo, that's on point. And then gave me my little Mr. Vulnerability name. I started putting that out. I was like, yo, that's who I be. That's who I am. So now people address me as that based upon that. So a well-been brand, and yes, Phyllis is that. I've never heard anyone besides her talk about that envelopment of, like she said, the brand ego, because a lot of times we as business people and most people that's in the entrepreneurship, they ain't all about talking about themselves, right? They ain't all
Mhm.
about because it took me a long time to be telling people about myself. It really did. And it's just a subconscious thing that unless you just this bragging person, it's just a subconscious thing that we know what we can do. We stand on what we do. And I even go as far as even say us with the minorities because we already been taught, trained, brought up, school. We got to do things doubly. We got to do more than. We got to stand out from. So that's our way of life. So I'm definitely not going to be telling you all of that. I'm just going to be doing all of that. So I had to go into the school of hard knocks with that and say, yo, you got to tell people what you do, else people don't know what you do.
Yeah.
And that's just what you have to do. So you have to figure that out. How you figure it out? Bring it to your website. That day that they crashed, I think it was Facebook and Instagram. That
Day.
day, that
The
no, I'm
multiple
talking about
times that
the
that
day.
happened.
No, I'm talking about the day that it brought to my realization what
Oh,
the
okay.
website means. And it was a few months ago. It crashed. Couldn't nobody get on the whole day. Couldn't nobody get
Mhm.
on the website. I don't know what happened. I never even followed it up. But I know I couldn't get on. From that point in time, I started taking my stuff off of LinkedIn or whatever, and I started cultivating my website to say my messaging. Now it took that for me to learn, even though a few people was telling me all the time. it took that crash and I couldn't get off. I was like, Facebook, I kept rerouting. I was like, how you gonna hold my stuff hostage? And I can't put it.
And because I'm not so into social media like that, even though I know the importance that it can be to amplify your voice, I didn't even know it. I didn't miss a beat. But
Oh man.
people who build their business and drive through that was their website.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and Instagram was their
Mm-hmm.
website, and they
That's it.
couldn't do nothing. They couldn't communicate. They couldn't send things out. People didn't have an email list built. They had nothing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say with Michael,
What
um,
Mike talking about that beard,
he
bear? Mike talking about that beard.
between the beard, yes, the beard is his calling card. But
Oh,
for another tool, I think what it is you need to first know what is it that you need your
yes.
website to help you accomplish. The website is not the end all thing. The
Mm-hmm.
website supports us doing what we love. So what is it that you need your website to do for you? Now for me, because of the blogging aspect that I really advocate for, I'm a WordPress girl through and through. Nobody else has come close to WordPress when it comes to incorporating so much, including the SEO aspect of it. Why? Because WordPress started out for bloggers. They started out that way. And through the years, WordPress has been around since 2013. It launched in 2013. I started using WordPress in 2014. Through the years, WordPress has built itself back up a couple of times. And I think the last time was about a few years ago. They revamped the core to allow us to really use it and make it do what it do, make our websites promote us.
Yeah.
And you're saying, okay, she sells
Just
jewelry,
makes.
so she needs to showcase and offer inventory for sale. I think you can incorporate two different things. And the reason why I say this is how do you one, what do you need it to do? And two, how do you expect to maintain the site? If you're going to maintain the site yourself, a lot of times to start off and get the promotions out and get the especially if you're doing for sales, Shopify has been great for the sales aspect. WordPress is amazing if you're blogging about it, you're talking about it, you're doing videos to showcase the inventory. And a lot of people miss that when they think about blogging and sales, they're like, well, what do I talk about, the jury? You can literally take your phone, take a good phone, or get a nice high powered camera. They're not even that expensive anymore. Or you can hire companies, or you can hire a photographer who specializes in photographing items,
Mm-hmm.
and they can help you showcase those items that you want for the inventory. And while you're doing the video, your wife can talk about the jewelry. She can have other people, including herself, model the jewelry, like how they do on QVC. Create her own little mini QVC and showcase why this jewelry needs to be in somebody's house
True
or
that.
somebody's store,
On somebody's
right?
neck, on somebody's fingers, on somebody's
Fingers,
brooches, or
somebody toe ring. I don't
whatever.
even know they still do toe rings anymore, but that's what they do.
Yeah, I still see a few people with them on. I was just down in South Carolina. There was a lot of people had on toe rings at the beach. They still wear them. But yeah, those are the kind of avenues that I was speaking about earlier about being able to diversify and how you bring a diversity of thought to the actual implementation of your website or your posting or your messaging. A lot of
Hmm.
times we have to be beta in all that we're doing because we have to see what we have to put out, what works for us, what will be that. I started out a lot of my messages started out with vulnerability was the core, jewelry is the core. So let's go around that jewelry. How can we show this? How can we showcase this? How can we highlight this? What can we bring attention to this? Put that on the website. Do little short video clips, little reels. Instagram is great for that. I didn't start incorporating that. My little speaking spot, I didn't put on Instagram. Start putting them in the little posts, the pictures I give. Start putting it in. Those are a lot of ways that you have to get a little more ingenuity about saying, okay, how can I get this out? And this is all leading us through the recession proofing. These avenues, these points that we're making, things that can be done. All of these are avenues that we can use, and it's all the creativity of what we want to do. We can keep ourselves out of recession proof if we get creative about the things we know to do, and we not depend on others to give us avenues and doors to do it. We got these
Mhm.
doors. You got these websites you're paying for them, whether it's Wix, whether it's WordPress. I got Squarespace. I had to learn how to do Squarespace because I started out with GoDaddy, and GoDaddy was GoDummy, and I couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't do it, and it wasn't holding nothing. I had to pay to even just about post stuff I wanted to post. I was like, yo, I'm getting out of here. And then I met Charlene after I'd already got the Squarespace. Else I probably would have been the WordPress, but I didn't put so much into this and got to it. When I get
Mhm.
further down the line, I probably will change, but I'm familiar with the avenue I'm in now. But I'm learning from those. I'm taking it. A lot of time people don't even read the frequently asked questions on these things. They don't even take the tutorials. I find myself taking a whole lot of tutorials since the pandemic. I used to just read a few directions and be like, oh, I think I can do this. Now I'll watch a tutorial video on YouTube in a hot minute. Yo, I don't know how to do that.
Because some
If I
certain
don't have
things are
Charlene,
no.
first I bought Charlene, then I watch the video.
And then I say, "Did you see the tutorial?" but but no, because a lot of times, what we think should be simple, it's not because of the way
Yeah.
the background mechanisms of platforms are working. They're for in order for them to look simple, it's complicated to do a couple of things. But yes, Phyllis is on Wix, Michael. She's great with managing Wix because I said I don't do Wix. So with that being said, I don't want folks to get caught up in just the type of platform you're on. Do I love WordPress? Of course. Am I an advocate all day, every day? However, be where you are comfortable. Because if you're not comfortable in jumping on a retention plan, and that
Mhm.
means somebody coming in and helping upkeep everything and putting the content up for you. If you are not helpful, if you're not at the position to be on a retention plan, it's going to be harder for you to maintain and keep up with everything, and then you're going to be stressed out on a different for a different reason.
Ooh,
So
say it.
first, start off where you feel comfortable, where you can see the work it takes to maintain it and what you need to get accomplished. That way, when you now join the retention plans, you know, okay, I need this, I need this, I need that. Now you
Yeah.
know what you need to keep going and build a site that will allow you to be a recession proof business. You want to make sure that you're constantly driving traffic. And when I tell you SEO has been a game changer for years, I was like, what is it? Do I do this? And I sat down, I learned it. I've jumped over 200 points
Mhm.
on Google. I have multiple articles that are either in the top 5 or the top 10 in Google based on my keyword phrases.
Yeah.
So to tell you that I'm not just telling you because I heard somebody say it or I have the stats. I'm telling you proof that yes, small changes
Mhm.
on your website, small focus. When you, like Carl said, just create the content, just write something out. And if you're not a writer, literally create a video like how we have here,
Mhm.
or you can create an audio like so many do for their podcast, and you
Mhm.
just push that through a translator. All you doing is cleaning it up. Or you can hire somebody to clean it up. Either way, you just not doing it and complaining on the corner, not working.
Yeah. Or get a live stream. I think when people first put that out to me to get a live stream, I was like, ooh, it's a scary thing. I was like, man, no, I'm not fooling around being in front of people all the time. And then I asked myself the question, Carl, that's what you do for work. What's the problem with doing it to a screen? And start doing that. Since mine's grew when I first came on with this, I think I had about 700, 800 some followers, connections, and it has grown over the past year about almost we're going to 18, 19,000 now. Yeah, that ain't a lot to some, but it's a lot to me in the essence of me being strategically intentionally putting my message out there. And not only that, the depths of which I've come from that point.
Yeah.
Because it isn't just a start point face camera that I was doing a long time ago. And I still don't have everything I got. Everything we doing right now is Amazon related. Only thing I'm using right now that costs money is this Mac. Everything else I caught on Amazon with my coins,
Like
and I
big
just put
money,
it out
big
there.
money.
Yes, it's not big money, not big money. No, I'm not. I'm not super producer. But those are the avenues that you have to take, and you have to take a growth approach to your recession proofing as well. You have to do that like you anything, like you take that approach to learning more, developing yourself, taking courses to be able to speak or know more about, or getting certified in your area of expertise, your zone of genius. So they say you have to do that also for the recession proof. What other ways? I can't say it no more because we go recession money. What other ways can I stream income? Can this stuff I'm talking about, can it be a course? Can the stuff I'm talking about every day, can it be a coaching program? Can it be a consulting program? The jewelry that I sell, can I do this packaging deal? Can it be earrings, a necklace, and a brooch as a deal package? I mean, you got to start doing those things. That's what the entrepreneur spirit encompasses, right? Us getting out and doing those things. But yeah, we gave you a lot of information today. Go try it. Go try it.
Yes, yes,
Go
and
try it.
we're never one to say one way's the only way. You can do SEO for multiple things, and if you're doing video, SEO counts too for that. It counts in the summaries that you write, the titles that you create. So make sure that you think hard, research. It don't take but like 10 minutes. A lot of times just to type something in and see, is Google giving this to me? How many other things? And you have tools, you have other platforms, SEM Rush, you have Brainwork. I have a lot of tools that I use, and I created a nice little list, and I put it on my website in my toolbox so you can see what do I use, how do I help other clients really pull this together, and then start looking through them, figure out, okay, is this something I can do? What does it do? Okay, this looks good. Let me research it some more. But keyword research, a couple of tools helped me tremendously, tremendously. So I'll definitely say, with all of that, make sure that you test things out and you start now. Don't wait. Yes, we may be in the midst or at the beginning of a recession, but don't let that scare you off to say, "Oh, I'll wait till this is over." Start now. Start building your momentum now. A lot of times people are throwing things out there on social media. We don't go back to check. We're part of that too. When you're busy creating, a lot of times you stop checking things,
Hmm.
right? So if you're
Yeah,
going to take a break, this is a perfect time. Summertime, people are like, "Oh, I'm going to see family." That's great. Sit while you're in the passenger side driving, or you're somewhere in the airport, or whatever that may look like to you, that is a stall time or wait time. Check out what your analytics is saying to you. See what's going on, what resonated. You can screenshot it or bookmark it, and then when you're ready to get back to creating, you're like, okay, look, these were my top hitters. I can create more stuff for this.
absolutely. And it works for you. I just was in the airport checking a lot of my stuff. We was just talking about before, so I got to get better with checking the analytics. I went back and checked some stuff from my Google page, because I know business owners, they, you got a Google page, and I was just like blown away at how my Google page is doing, and I hadn't checked it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I hadn't. I've been throwing myself into, we're doing webinars, we're doing live streams. I mean, it's a lot of things that you're doing, and when you are maybe a solopreneur, or maybe you have one or another person helping you, there's things that fall through the gaps, and there's opportunities that's missed. And the essence of that, because you're so busy, because you're entertaining so many avenues, you don't
Hmm.
really buckle down and say. So those points of times, schedule those. I'm starting to learn to do those. Schedule that. Put it in the schedule. Just like I'm scheduling Zooms and connections and all that. I'm scheduling, okay, I'm gonna spend this half hour doing this. I'm gonna spend this half hour, 15 minutes, researching those posts that I put out maybe a couple of months ago. I want to see how they're doing, because we look at it, we'll follow a post, and everybody's on this plane. So if you're doing it different, please drop in the comments some of the aspects and tips and things that you want to share. A lot of people hit those posts, and you get maybe a couple hundred in the first few hours. Maybe at the end of the day, you'll check it out to see what it's went through, and maybe you got 600 or 700 reactions and a couple hundred comments. Say, oh, that did pretty good. I did that to a couple of posts I've had. I went back and checked that post a couple of months later, and it's up to like 20, 30,000 views. And then, like, those are opportunities that you drop just because time has went past. You didn't take a top opportunity and say, "Oh, let me go back." There may be some clients within those 20 to 30,000 views, right? There may be some clients in those 700 to 800 reactions. Maybe some clients in those thousand or so comments. So you have to do that as well. And if you can't do it, like Charlene said, get you some help. Get you some help. Got a lot of people that's bartering. Got a lot of people that say, yo, so show me your skills, I'll show you mine. Let's pick times and say, you share me, I share you. I mean, find these opportunities. Inquire. Inquire about, put posts out. Yo, I need help with such and such. Who can help me with such and such? That's the vulnerability piece that I always go back to. I can't do this, guys. I'm needing help in growing this. LinkedIn is very helpful. You'd be surprised how many people DM me about, yo, I just want to help you get your message across. I don't want to charge you nothing. I don't want to, yeah, I've had some fall through the cracks. So I had to put that out there. I had to put that salt out there. And so I'm saying, I want to help you, and I still ain't heard from them. But anyway, I digress.
He was almost about to climb that salt mine,
Almost,
but we're not gonna
almost,
have that today.
almost, almost,
But
almost.
yes, as we wrap up, I just wanted to say one thank you for jumping in. Make sure
Yes.
you check out the summit that we have coming
I put
up.
it in the thing. Uh, yes, I would definitely drop it back in there. I thought I put it in there in the comments, but I don't see it there. But I'm gonna drop it
Because
again.
we'll be dropping it in, and you know, I think I know what happened because you were saying that you're gonna write a post. You're gonna do a
Yes,
post, so
I'm
that
definitely
might have
doing a post
sidetracked
today.
it.
I'm trying to create the knowledge piece of that from the flyer that we've created in the website as well. You guys gonna want to get that. We can tell you guys the date. Definitely pre tell you the date. We register registration is going on to September the 9th. The event is going to
Yes,
take place on September the 24th. So it's going to be more information coming with that. The registration link I'm going to put in there as well. And I want you to share that. I want to share this next level business moves. And this is what it is. And we got a foursome with over 90 plus years experience. Yeah. We talking like, we talking like the Rockefellers. Yeah. We got four people that has over 90 years in business or business related expertise that we're going to be put ourselves together in a foursome. And we get the real Fantastic Four. I know they had it on the TV show and the movies, but we the real Fantastic Four. So we're going to be bringing that to you, and we're just trying to move the needle, guys. That's what it's all about. We're trying to move the needle, and we're trying to take as many people as we can with us that want to be empowered, so we can recession-proof as many people as we want to, as many people that want to be. It's all up to you. So we're going to put it out there
yes.
for you, and we hope you join the ride.
Yeah, so we cannot wait to see you guys, of course,
Yes.
for Thursday.
Thursday.
Another great, amazing show,
Yeah.
guest, and of course, if anything you need, let us know, hit us up, and make sure that you head on over to Real Talk Live, the podcast on LinkedIn. We had just head on over to realtalklivepodcast.com/LinkedIn and connect with us, follow us, and share. Let other people know that they should be following us too.
Absolutely. Absolutely be following us. If you ain't following us,
Later,
you're on
y'all.
LinkedIn wrong. Somebody told me that once upon a time.
Uh oh. Later, y'all.
Like,
Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.